What is going on, guys, and welcome to CSS tutorial. In this video we're going to start talking about colors in CSS, because you saw in the last video what happened that when we were trying to choose, let's say, background color or a color, we actually had to use the color. And in this case we were writing all the time. We were saying that, let's say that I would want this red, and I just press red, and you can see that brackets would give me code hints. Obviously I could have remembered all these colors and just written them down. I didn't. Technically, if you don't want to use them, you don't use the code hints. However, this does make your life easier. However, remember when I told you these are not all the colors that you can pick. These are called web colors, where you just write the name of the color, right? So let's say I'm just going to press royal blue here. However, if we go over here in a quick edit, and I'm sorry, if we right click it, you can see that there's a quick edit. And there's also a shortcut for the quick edit, where is the Command D. So I just press it over here, and you can see what happens. You can see that right away brackets opens up a nice window for me. And you can see that there's over here, there's actually 4 options how we can write. And these are the 4 options how we can write actually a color. We can write it royal blue over here. We can use something that's called RGB. And those are the values, let's say, how much of the red, how much of the green, and how much of the blue is in this color. We can write the hex color, and we can write this one with opacity in it. So these are the 4 ways, right? So what you can see over here, that I still have the same color, but what brackets does, it actually gives me all these ways how I can actually write this color. So technically, I could have just written this by myself if I would have remembered. I would said RGB 65, 105, 225, or I could have remembered this hex color over here like this, or I could have remembered this one. However, the nice thing about brackets is, as it's working with this quick edit over here, the only thing that I could actually need to do is, let's say I would remember the color. However, if I want to change this color, you can see that as I'm sliding around, my color is, first of all, it's changing in a live preview. Second, it's that all these values are changing as well. You can see the RGB changed, so hex changed. So if I would want to change the color, it actually right away gives me a nice way how I can I don't need to remember thousands of values, let's say, of RGB, because imagine for each time when I'm pressing, you can see that it's changing. So only thing that I would need to do is actually just slide around here, and if I don't like those colors at all, I just can slide up and down over here, and then I just change the values completely. And what's happening, again, it gives me all these 4 values that I would technically have to remember. However, the brackets does all the work for me. And now the last thing that I want to show you about the color, that when we're picking this opacity color, this is basically how transparent it is, right? So let's just choose 2 colors that are exactly the same. So I'm just going to go over here, and I'm just going to delete this, and I'm just going to say that I want it red. Right? But let's say I'm just going to delete this selector right now. I'm just going to cut it out, and I'm going to say that I want to leave it this way. However, I would paste it H2, and let's say that I would again change the background color, and I would say that I want this background color to be the same. I want it to be red, right? Because I want to show you what opacity does. So let's say over here I right click it, and I go again back to quick edit. And what I do is, you can see as I'm changing the opacity, how much more transparent it becomes. You can see they're both same, they're both red. However, as I'm changing the opacity, it's actually changing how transparent the color is. So let's say if I go all the way down here, you can see that it's completely gone. You cannot see it. If I go all the way to the top, you can see that it's completely the same as it should be, because it's red. And again, just to let's say bring it home one more time, we could have just remembered these colors. We could say, let's say that if I would remember the hex color, I can just write the hex color over here. Now, this wasn't a valuable hex color, however, we could do that. And why I'm telling you is this: let's say that you have a button, right? And you want to create a Twitter background on that button, right? You want that button to appear like a Twitter color, right? So what you would do over here, let's say I can always go to Google, and I can say Twitter hex code, right? You can see over here, hex code color over here. So as I click it over here, it's gonna open up for me, and you can see that this is the Twitter dark blue, right? So only thing that I would need to do is I just copy this hex. I just say copy. I can just close this one out. And let's say what I'm gonna do over here is with H1, I would want it to be a Twitter hex color. So only thing that I do over here, and I just delete this point, and now I can see that I have the Twitter color for my H1. So you can see that these are hex color. This is not the color. I didn't write the color like in navy blue or something like that. This is actually a specific Twitter hex color. So this is how we can, and obviously we could have done the same way if we're using the RGB values. However, I really suggest just using the quick edit, because with this one you can manipulate your color however you want. You can pick multiple colors, you can change right away opacity, and you don't need to deal with remembering numbers. This is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.